Biodata Catalyst is a amazing resource that NHLBI has invested a lot of time and resources into over the years. And so we're really looking forward to providing and enhancing the resource for the community to come and do science, as Emily just mentioned. So NHLBI, like I said, built Biodata Catalyst for our researchers. And I say this over and over again, but the success of our researchers, or the success of BDC lies in the success of our researchers. And so, I'm sure many folks have had this overview before, but just to start at the higher level, Biodata Catalyst is an ecosystem, and that is supported by services and platforms that interoperate under the hood to facilitate science. And that's, whether that's collaboration or scaling analysis for big data, for infrastructure to build tools or leverage existing tools, interoperate, share, conduct open science, and analyze. Whatever the use case is, our hope is that Biodata Catalyst can help meet our researchers' needs and ultimately drive towards discovery, whether that's in development of diagnostic tools, therapeutic options, or prevention strategies to ultimately benefit the health and well-being of all individuals affected with heart, lung, blood, and sleep-related diseases and disorders. There are vast analytic capabilities available in the ecosystem, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I know that there are other videos that really go into depth in terms of the analytic capabilities that are available in the ecosystem. But, there's something for everyone. And if there's not, then let us know, because we'll look at that and see if, how we can facilitate BDC supporting those use cases as well. So on to the data. NHLBI has invested substantially in generating and supporting data collection and sharing for decades. There are substantial investments in longitudinal cohort studies across the United States, such as Framingham Heart Study, MESA, Cardia, SOUL, many of them that are listed here. And then there are more kind of cross-study studies. So, for lack of better words, we have the National Sleep Research Resource that's looking at sleep in comparison to many individuals who exist in an NHLBI-funded longitudinal cohort study. Similarly for C4R, in terms of the COVID angle to many of those that may already exist in an NHLBI longitudinal cohort study. HeartShare and TopMed also share similarities in that they're also looking at different aspects of the individuals who are in those cohort studies, with TopMed, which is the Transomics for Precision Medicine program, looking at multi-omics on those individuals. And ultimately what's happening here is we're creating a data ecosystem that's so robust and rich in terms of all the different data types to really comprehensively understand and hopefully drive towards discoverability, to affect the health and well-being of all individuals. And so the richness of this data is phenomenal, and we're making that data available to the community via Biodata Catalyst. So I mentioned a few of these already. These are just a few of our data generating programs. TopMed focuses on multi-omics data from the NHLBI longitudinal cohort studies, as well as some standalone studies. They're generating multi-omics, whole genome sequences, single-cell RNA, metabolomics, proteomics, methylation DNA, et cetera. HeartShare is leveraging data from many of those longitudinal cohorts, but they're also prospectively collecting data as they're recruiting individuals for their prospective study arm. And so they have, from the retrospective data that they're looking at multimodal imaging that includes echoes as well as ECGs. They're looking at clinical data, multi-omics data from TopMed and others. But prospectively, they're also looking at generating clinical data, omics, multimodal imaging, as well as EHR. And so they're looking to leverage biodata catalysts to facilitate both the retrospective and prospective data collection efforts for the program. The National Sleep Research Resource does have multimodal sleep data that includes clinical, polysomnography, actigraphy, and other data types. And polysomnography includes multiple different modalities within it, such as ECGs and EEGs. We have the Pediatric Cardiac Genomics Commons that also has multimodal data on pediatric populations. That includes clinical omics, EHR, and multimodal imaging as well. And then we have Connects, which is another multi-study program focused on COVID-19 related observational studies and clinical trials and bringing those data sets to Biodata Catalyst. So this is just the sampling, not to highlight or deprioritize or anything like that, but this is just to give folks an idea of the type of data that's being generated across the studies that NHLBI is investing in, and in terms of the contributions of the researchers and all the endless numbers of people who are working to generate this data, and Biodata Catalyst's role in making sure that that data is fair and shared with the community, you know, in alignment with fair data sharing principles. But that doesn't, and the BDC doesn't stop there. We have been growing our presence in the trans NIH space, and Recover, which is another COVID-19 program. It's a trans NIH program that's looking at post-acute sequelae of COVID. It's a longitudinal epidemiological study with multiple data modalities, including clinical genomic imaging of multiple modalities for adults, as well as pediatric populations, clinical trials, sensor, mobile health, biospecimen, as well as autopsy data and others. So there's a lot of different data coming in through Recover, and Biodata Catalyst is supporting the sustainability of the data generated by the Recover program. And we're also supporting the Regenerative Medicine Innovation Program that's looking at generating multimodal cell characterization data and it's generating multiple data types, including single cell RNA, cell cytometry data, flow cytometry data, you know, whole genome sequencing, as well as whole genome biosulfite sequencing. And both of these are congressionally funded efforts. So Biodata Catalyst, you know, is capable of supporting these types of very complex efforts from from multiple standpoints, including for collecting and aggregating and QC of data, all the way through to sharing that data to the public for reuse.